And so I was wondering, how different is it for you as an actor, Doug, you've played Geralt in 3 Witcher games now, like how different is that to maybe your other gigs where you'll play one character and maybe never revisit them, building on a character over that length of time?
Well, one of the things that's been so wonderful about being involved in the Witcher series is that it's actually quite rare for actors to be associated with a character for 10, 11, 12 years, whatever it was. So I went on a journey with Geralt, and I've said in various other interviews and things that he started out as unemotional, and then in Witcher 2 he was a little bit more emotional, and then in Witcher 3, by the end, you get to the end of Witcher 3 and Blood and Wine, and he's like a different character. But it kind of reflects life in a way, as we grow older, we understand more about ourselves, our world, everything else. So that's a different experience than I've had with just about anything else, Most of the times as an actor, I go in, and often I know very little about the game, and I'm put in front of a television monitor, and the script comes up on an Excel spreadsheet. I'm shown a picture of the character. The world is described. The situation is described. The game is. Some of the mechanics are described, and off we go. And I have to make some very quick choices about how the character responds to stimulus and things like that. So that's a different experience. When I went into Witcher 3, I knew the character. I knew the character very well. And that only increased as we continued to record into the DLCs. Mm-hmm. So it's a completely different experience. And I think that understanding of that character going in informs my job in the storytelling process. So a depth of understanding of a character allows a depth of performance that isn't achieved as easily or readily if you've just met the character.
Thank you very much, you guys. I really admire all of your work. Is there, seeing as that you've all worked on games that have really interesting choice involved, is there a favorite situation or choice in those games that you really either enjoyed writing or enjoyed playing? For example, I really like the opening sequence in Fahrenheit when you're in the bathroom. I had to pause the game in the Bloody Baron sequence, and I was really terrified of running through a fence in Bury Me in My Love. So yeah, I'd love to hear what you guys thought.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Sorry, so one of my, I wouldn't narrow it down to a choice, but my favorite sequence, I think, and either in Beyond or Heavy Rain tend to be the low-key ones. So in Heavy Rain, my favorite sequence of the whole game is the father and son one. You spend your time with your kid in the evening at home, and you help him through his homework, you cook him dinner or not, you give him chips. And the light goes down, and it just feels like I thought it was like something I've never played before. Really relatable and really sad. Really like that one. And in Beyond Two Souls, it's the same, like the CIA scenes. Like, oh, okay. But the really good ones for me are when she's at a party as a teenager, or when she's upset with her surrogate dad and goes to a bar as a teenager again. Because it felt like it captured really well these moments in your life where you want to be popular and you're just a freak in the party and everybody disregards you or hates you, or the other one where you have a role with your parents being young. So these are the ones I like most.
I think in Witcher 3, the choice that I found most difficult was whether to give Ciri over to Emperor Emir or not. I think that was one of those choices, and this is when I played it, not when I recorded it. that was one of those choices where I had to stop and really go, wow, well, what's going to be best for Ciri? And that's a really interesting choice to come up against in a game, you know, that kind of power. You know, I have kids, so any of you who have kids, you know, whether they're yours or not, if you care about them, making decisions that directly affect someone you love, those are the hardest. Those are the most difficult. So that one I think stands out for me as a choice that had to be made that I had to really mull over. But another one that comes to mind in The Witcher is the choice, and hopefully I'm not giving anything away, but the choice whether or not to have a snowball fight with Ciri. And small spoiler alert, the choice you make does have a direct impact on the ending that you get. So, and you can alter that ending still, but it does send you down a particular branch that there's very little coming back from. So, and I knew that when I got there, so I made a particular choice for what I wanted. I knew the endings that were possible. I didn't remember all the choices, though, and I didn't remember all the branches, thankfully, because then I could play the game as a player, not as someone who knew the story. Yeah.